Our next item on the agenda is a young brother that I've watched grow. Seen him in a couple of films while he was still a small boy, and I can remember him marching, and he's grown up to be a warrior. Now, I think when people say warrior, at times people don't understand the difference between a soldier and a warrior. A warrior uses his brains. A soldier obeys orders from the top. They don't use their brain. That's why they can go to Iraq, they can go to Africa and do anything because they obey orders. But ours, they're warriors. Now, brother Tafadzizwa, I speak a Bantu language and I'm failing to pronounce this myself. Tafadzizwa. Have I got it right, brother?
Nearly.
Tafadzizwa. Tafadzwa. Tafadzwa. Thank you. Normally when I'm teaching my students, they always challenge me for failing to pronounce European names. And my name is about 26 letters, so I write it on the board and ask them to pronounce it. Ntanda makastanda malinya buanika. They stop there because they can't do it. Brother Tafadzizwa, if you like to take the floor. Thank you.
Tendamwari. Who are we?
African.
Who are we?
African.
What do we want?
Freedom.
What do we want?
Freedom.
How are we gonna get it?
Fight for it.
I said, how are we gonna get it?
Fight for it.
When do we want it?
Now.
When do we want it?
Now.
When?
Now.
When?
Now.
When?
Now.
I remember that when that was standard ALD procedure. Whenever a speaker came on the platform, they would ask the question, who are we? And the gatherer would reply, Africans. And so on and so forth. We need to reinstitute that in ALD, brothers and sisters, right about. Tendamwari. Let me start, because my time is short, but I hope the organizers will allow me a little bit of grace to pay some acknowledgement so I can pay some respects to my elders. First of all, to Baba Baruti. It's an honor to be able to share a platform with you. And I would like to let you know that your work has had a great impact on me, especially in recent times. I've read your book, Complementarity, and it's very, very refreshing to see African elders that are dealing with such subjects on Liberation Road. Because I think too far in our fight, we have dealt with politics and somewhat economics and in some way spirituality, but in terms of our lives, the morality that guides our lives and our relationships and our families, it's an area that we have neglected. And so I give thanks to elders like Baba Baruti for doing such work, you know. And as a young man who is still growing and still developing very, very much, it's important that we have examples like this and things that we can look on to reference from and to cross-reference our own characters and build our own characters upon. You understand what I'm saying? So I give thanks for that. Yeah, I would like to also hail up Brother Aman Rashidi, who's just, as from one spoken word grew up to another. You inspired me a whole heap, yeah? When I was young, when I heard Pretty Black Woman, so brilliant, so fine. Trust me. Because I grew up hearing about the beautiful black woman, and to hear that on radio, I heard that tune on radio the first time I heard it, and it inspired me so much that I actually, along with my cousin, actually typed up the lyrics and kind of slipped it in a few of the schoolgirls' bags, you know what I mean? When we was younger, you know? And so all these princesses kind of exited their classrooms in the lyrics of Pretty Black Woman is a very uplifting experience for me and for them also, so give thanks for that inspiration, you know what I mean? Last and finally to Auntie Asha. it's the second time I think I've shared a platform with you at ALD. I think it is, and you just, I don't know, you always inspire me, you know? And you're a true example of the pretty black woman that Amin Rashidi wrote about. You know? Yeah, true example. You know what I mean? So give thanks for that inspiration. And last and finally, I can't say anything without giving praise and honor to my family, the Al-Qaeda and Revivalist movement, for who I am and what I am. And primarily my father, who is the leader of the Al-Qaeda and Revivalist movement, Brother Leader Mandaka, for who I am and what I am. So, very much you're going to hear from me tomorrow. So very much I'm going to give you a little taster, hopefully, of what you're going to get tomorrow. Because I'm like Simba in The Lion King. I'm still perfecting the raw. And when Mufasa comes, then everything finish. Yeah? So that means you have to come back tomorrow now to get the real thing. Yeah? I'm going to give you like a taster. Anyway. So, without further ado, the subject that I'm going to be addressing in the brief 15 minutes that I have, my 15 minutes start now, by the way, that was respect and eldership. Yeah, so start the 15 minutes from now. Yeah? Alright. Yeah, I'm going to be addressing the issue of Barack Obama. And we need to address the issue of Barack Obama in this time. And I'm going to address it, as Malcolm X said, I'm going to make it plain. I'm going to talk it straight and make it plain, because I've only got 15 minutes. I ain't got time to go into things and delve into things and come around the corner and go around the back. And no, I have to make it plain, straight, don't go around the corner, and that's it. Yeah, because we ain't got time to waste. Time is a precious gift from the Creator. And I'm here to state the case unequivocally, undoubtedly, without a shadow of a doubt, that Barack Obama is nothing more than the latest tool in America's global white supremacist agenda. Yeah? And we need to be clear about this in this particular time, because there are some of us, even as freedom fighters, who have become confused by this issue. We've been freedom fighting for over 20 years, and suddenly they give us a black president and we're all singing praises, hallelujah. I don't understand that. It makes no sense to me. We have lost focus. We have taken our eye off the ball somewhat. And so we always need reaffirmation and things to refocus us and keep our eye on the ball. And as an Al-Qaeda I am essentially a Garveyite. So what I would use to refocus myself is the words, the philosophies and opinions of the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Mosiah Garvey. Right. So reading from our Mosiah Daily Affirmations, please look at the Al-Qaeda Revivalist Movement store in Mama Africa Culture Shop to get your Mosiah Daily Affirmations. I'll go into that a little bit later. Reading from affirmation number 21, entitled The Ideal of Nationhood. Is everybody with me?
Yes.
Are you ready?
Yes.
It's going to be a rough ride, you know, don't worry about it. Just buckle your seatbelt and hold on tight and them something there. I want to hear some vibes, because I'm not a lecturer, yeah? I'm a griot. And the African cultural dynamics demands call and response, you understand what I'm saying? I'm not into dead vibrations when I come up and speak to my people. And I'm not into dead vibrations when I listen to people, when my people speak, you understand what I'm saying? So when I leave the stage, I want the rest of my elders to get the same vibration, you understand what I'm saying? Because we name African, we don't name European, we don't name cold, we name warm and hot. You understand me? Who are we? Alright. So Papa Garvey tells us, no race is free until it has a strong nation of its own.
No race.
Its own system of government.
Yes.
Its own order of society.
Yes.
Never give up this idea. What do you say?
Never give up this idea.
And again.
Never give up this idea.
Never be satisfied to always live under the government of other people.
Yes.
Because you will always be at their mercy. Yes. Visualize for yourself. For who?
For yourself.
And your children. For your who?
Your children.
And generations unborn. Your own kings, emperors, presidents, your own government officials and administrators who look like you.
Yeah.
But they also have to be your
own.
That's right. They also have to be your own. Okay. Alright. We are determined to solve our own problems by redeeming our motherland Africa. Where?
Africa.
America?
No.
The United States?
No.
New York?
No.
Washington DC?
No.
The White House?
No.
Our motherland?
Africa.
From the hands of alien exploiters, and founded a government, a nation of our own. Of who?
Our own.
Strong enough to lend protection to the members of our race scattered all over the world. And to compel the respect of the nations and races of the earth. Such is the wisdom of the most eminent prophet and king, His Excellency Marcus Mosiah Garvey, saying, hail to the power of the word.
Hail to the power of the word.
That's the ideal of nationhood. So 3 questions arise from that our great eminent prophet and king has said to us. Is America our nation?
No.
So if America is not our nation, can the government of America be our government?
No.
And if the government of America is not our government, can the president of the government of America be our president?
No.
Now really I could end the message right there. Right, finish. 10-9 where I'm gone. No. But just in case some of us are still not convinced right about now, we're going to continue a little bit more. So we're asking the question, why have the American government selected Obama? He's straight. No one never elected him. He was selected for us. So why have they selected him for us? I'm going to try and use an example that I hope that most people can relate to. Don't be ashamed. We watch a little TV every now and then. Confession is good for the soul. Yes? And there's a phenomenon that has been sweeping the nation for the last decade or so, and it's called reality TV. And one of the reality TV programs that I know of, and I've watched obviously for research purposes, is one called, that's right, is one called Extreme Makeover. Now, this program is usually, that's Extreme Research, that's right. So Extreme Makeover is a program designed for people that, generally speaking, have great physical deformities or disorders. Yeah, and they want to rework the way they look, their appearance. So you can go on Extreme Makeover and you can get plastic surgery, skin grafting, tummy tuck, liposuction, reshaping. So if you want a nicer smile, you can get dental work and get a nicer smile. If you want, like bigger hips, you can get it reshaped and a bigger behind, and everything can look nice, and you can sway like Beyonce if you want it to. Yeah? Right? Yeah, very well, very well. But I'm a good researcher. Yeah? And these people go through this process because they're not happy with the way they look and how they are being seen within the society. And after they go through this often kind of painful process, because it takes a lot of surgery and reworking and cutting up of the skin and it's painful. But when they come out of it, this new looking individual, their smile is supposedly nicer, but essentially they are still the same person. Yeah? They may look a little bit different. They may even feel a bit different. They may be more confident. They may go places that they may not have gone before they had the surgery. And they may do things that they may not have done before they had the surgery, but essentially, they are still the same person. And so we have to understand that the American government does not change. And the president of the American government cannot change the government or the American society. Yeah? This is just a new facelift, brothers and sisters, is basically what I'm saying to you. Yeah? It's the facelift for the American government. See, the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are two wings of the same airplane. They're two arms of the same devil. Their objective is the same, and they are there to make sure that each other is still on course and flying in the same direction. So we don't want to go too far to the right or too far to the left. And the Democratic Party is a party of white supremacy, essentially. Nothing other than white supremacy. And if you want to know that, the Democratic Party came into existence in the late 1800s. One of its first slogans was white supremacy. Whoa. White supremacy.
Straight up.
The American government does not change. And no matter who has been in government, the condition of African people has never been bettered. In fact, it has only worsened. They've only reworked their oppressive nature and techniques and duped us into a false sense of security time and time again. And we have to understand this. See, Obama is not there for us, and he has never claimed to be there for us. He says in his opening of his victory speech,
Come on.
if there is anyone out there who still doubts that this nation is a nation where all things can be possible. Who still doubts the power of our? Whose?
Our.
Am I talking to Uno?
No.
Who's our?
America.
America.
White
Democracy.
White America.
Who still doubts that the dream of our founding fathers, whose?
Our founding.
Is still alive in our time. Tonight is your answer. So he's already told you what he's there to fulfill.
That's right.
The dream of the founding fathers. Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, George Washington. Who are these people? They were enslavers of our ancestors. These are the people who wrote the American Constitution and signed away African humanity as 3/5 human. These are these people who promised our ancestors that we will be freed if we fought for them in their American Revolution and reneged on that promise and still continued our enslavement. See, these are the same people who sent troops to Haiti after we raised a revolution in Haiti and kicked out the French, the Spanish and the British, the free superpowers of the day. Even though the Haitians had fought in the American Revolution also, America sent troops to Haiti to squash the revolution over there. And that was the work of the founding fathers. Yeah? The dream of the founding fathers that Obama has come here to fulfill. We must understand this. Another person who Obama is fond of quoting and identifying himself with is Abraham Lincoln, who was supposed to have so-called freed the slaves. We must not refer to our ancestors as slaves. We were enslaved, but we were never made slaves. Because we constantly revolted and resisted. Promised to free the so-called slaves after the Civil War. And this was another big hoax. This was one of the other times that the American government was able to get us excited around their agenda. This ain't new, brothers and sisters. This is very, very old games and old tricks. He told us that he would free us if we would fight for the North against the South. And because the South, some of the states in the South had separated themselves from the Union. And so what he did was only promised the abolishment of slavery in those states that had separated themselves from the Union. And also because our ancestors were revolting and white people in America were getting their behinds kicked and oftentimes their lives taken and they couldn't take it no more. So they promised 40 acres and a mule. And this was never given to our ancestors through the Emancipation Proclamation. But he wrote it in a document and told you the reasons why he was doing it anyway. But the fact that Obama consistently identifies himself with these people, these liars and deceivers, speaks to his own character. We must understand this. He is there as an object of deception. We have to understand this because we have been fooled as a people and as freedom fighters in this time because we feel that we're going to get something from this man. The only person as an African that Obama identifies himself with outwardly is Martin Luther King. But he identifies himself with the distortion of Martin Luther King's legacy that has been perpetrated to us by the American government. I had a dream and nothing else never happened after that. And even the dream that he spoke about is distorted. Nothing was said before that. Nothing was said after that, apart from I have a dream that little white boys and little white girls would hold hands and walk to school and learn in their classrooms together. And that's all that Martin Luther King is supposed to have said. But they don't tell you that Martin Luther King called America the most violent purveyor of violence in the world in his time. And nothing has changed today. They don't tell you that. But that's who Obama identifies himself with. See, Obama has spoken to everybody but the African. Obama has gone to the Jews, promising them all kind of different things. He's promised them 30 billion in military aid alone. Billion in military aid alone over the next 10 years. And but Obama doesn't agree with reparations or affirmative action for Africans. Obama has gone to the Native Americans and promised them what he will do for them. He has gone to all levels of European society. He's gone to the poor whites, to the middle class whites, the upper class whites, the rich whites, the whites in government, the whites, and promised them a whole heap. The only time he has spoken directly to African people was when he told African fathers that they should be better parents. That is the only time. Well, you know what I mean. We'll come back. We're not going there this evening. You're not alone. However, you see, this man who is supposedly, and it's a funny, interesting thing that Sister Sandra was dancing to that particular tune because some of us might suggest that change has already come. A change we can believe in. go on YouTube and you see Obama speaking in what is called what's the word? If there are enough people and them are asking questions. No, not press conference. Town hall style discussion. And a Native American stands up in the audience and says, my name is, I don't know, Rose Like Thunder, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna ask you what you're gonna do for the Native Americans. Obama made 3 points. 1, we must acknowledge the history as it relates to the American government and the Native American people. This is what he said. He said, we, who's the we? The American government have made treaties that we have not kept. We have made agreements that we have gone back on. And we need to acknowledge that history so that we can readdress it. That's the first thing that he said. 2, we must not have a Bureau of Indian Affairs that are meeting with the Native American people. We must have the President of the United States meeting with the leaders of the Native Americans and ensuring that there's a relationship of mutual respect and mutual loyalty. 3, we must begin to readdress the imbalances that exist within the society as far as Native Americans and the rest of the society.
Turn them land.
Well, we're not going there, trust me, I'm not going that far. However, what he did say is that he notified a lot of social indicators. Native Americans are worse in the prisons as far as drug abuse and alcohol abuse is concerned, as far as mental institutionalization is concerned, and so on and so forth. And we must begin to address the balances. Another term for that is called reparations, brothers and sisters. Yeah? See now, let's readdress all those questions now as it applies to the African. Has Obama acknowledged the history as it regards the African? No. And the treaties that America reneged on as regards the African? No. Are we going to get our 40 acres in the mule? No. Are we going to get our freedom from their prison industrial complex? No. Right then, okay, let's move on from that because we're not going to get that. Yeah? We must the president must be meeting with their leaders. Yeah? What did Obama do when it comes to African leadership? As far as it I'm going to wrap up very, very soon, brothers and sisters. As far as it goes in America, 2 leaders Obama separated himself from. One was Mr. Farrakhan, publicly renounced and denounced, and second was his own pastor, former pastor, Jeremiah Wright. Both of whom are African leaders, whether you agree or disagree with them, who are doing positive work in our community. And he denounced and rejected them unequivocally. That's right. Yeah? And we've already said that he disagrees with reparations. So what is the Obama agenda? 2 minutes. Yeah, Obama is there to restabilize America. That's right. And renew the American image in the eyes of the world. Because America has been exposed for its wickedness and its evil. And they needed a new face, a saving grace, a saving face that came in the form of an African. Because as African people, we represent the conscience of humanity. Because we have suffered the most. And America has done a lot of wickedness to us. So the symbol of a black man who has been, generally speaking, subjugated, and a black family who are generally speaking subjugated within the American society, now in the White House, is supposed to be a symbol of redemption for America as a whole. So now we forget about our history. We forget about our culture. We forget about our leaders, because our leaders, the image of our leaders now has been replaced with a president that is supposed to be our new aspiration, our new goal. Now, black youth can achieve whatever we want because we have a president who defines our aspirations for us. And when the presidency, or American presidency at the very least, become our highest level of attainment. Last point, because I haven't got a lot of time. What they have essentially done with the election of President Obama is made African people a partner in American imperialism and white supremacy. Because no longer can we say, well, look at the white man, because the black man is at the head of the white man system. But we have to understand that the black man is not really at the head of the white man system. He is a figurehead, and he is there to renew and restabilize America, because you see, the world is in so-called economic crisis, and their private prison industry and their militarization is how they're going to save themselves. And so that is why they need AFRICOM, that US Africa Command so they can go into African land and thief our resources, because they wouldn't be able to do it under Bush because the African leaders would have been too wary. But now one that looks like them, because there were celebrations all over Africa for the inauguration of Barack Obama. And now they have put that friendly face there to ensure that he is the Novocaine that is going to put us to sleep, that Wally Malcolm X talked about. Yeah, we have to understand this. And so how are we going to combat this? First of all, we must begin to decode language and symbolism. As Queen Mother Frances Cress Welsing teaches us, this war is going to be based on language and symbolism, and we must be able to decode it. Secondly, we must stay on our agenda. Don't be distracted by no foolishness. My father taught me a very, very long time ago, whenever you see these people celebrating, they are planning something sinister for us. And we must understand that and learn lessons of history. Stay on our agenda and build our institutions, our schools, primarily so that our children are not growing up in this society seeing American presidency as our highest level of achievement. Because I would much rather, as Baba Ruti said earlier, we must analyze ourselves as to how far separated we are from everything that is European. So I don't want to be nothing like Obama, nothing like Atua. I want to be more like Baba Baruti. I want to be more like Amin Rashidi. I want to be more like Auntie Asha. That's what I want to be like. These are my role models and my goal models. And the hell with Barack Obama. 10-9 Warriors.
Lazima tutashinda bila shaka. Lazima tutashinda bila shaka. Lazima tutashinda bila shaka. All power to our people.
Thank you. What a warrior, brother.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you for the inspiring speech that you have given us.
Word.
I think the youth who are in this room, who have been subjected to what I call Obama mania in school, will have something to think. Because at times when we say it as adults, some of our young people don't tend to accept what we're saying because they think we are extremists. Right. When it comes from a young man like them, I think our teenagers will have a deeper think about the whole issue.